So today I am out on an STS Bikes prototype Atlas. This is their new ATB frame. Hey bud. I'm gonna stop at the trailhead and make a couple fit adjustments. Can't really tell anything about the bike yet, except the way the bars and the shifting feels, because the saddle's just too low and at the wrong angle. So I'm interested to have a few opinions on the bike, but I do have to say there aren't any components on here, not a single one that I've ever ridden before. So there's a lot that's going on that's different for me, except for the Brook saddle, but this is a new one. Left that one on there, not one that I put on mine yet. Also, this being a prototype, they've already modified the geometry in a few ways. So yeah, the customer bikes they're building now do not have the bent seat tube, curved seat tube, and they have longer chain stays as well. Of course, I'm only a few miles in, but I'm kind of digging these Velo Orange Crazy Bars. I thought they weren't going to come back straight enough for me, but that's not bothering me. And there's a short enough stem that even though they don't have a bunch of sweep, they feel comfortable. So they also don't go as far forward and then back like my Soma Portmans or Velo Orange granola bars. I also like the nubs or whatever you call the aero bars. It's kind of a cool feature to have. Of course, that has nothing to do with the frame. They'll put whatever bars you want on the bike. They said this bike will even work well with drop bars. I feel like it's more of a all bar kind of bike, but you know, teach their own. Anyways, we're gonna go rip around and I'll talk more about this bike when I have a little more experience with it. Also want to talk a little bit about the brand and what they do and yeah, all that good stuff. I almost always like my Brooks with a tilt, but I forgot when they're almost brand new, they actually work pretty well, pretty flat. And then as they age and you break them in, they're better to kind of tilt up a little bit. Now I feel like I went a click too far level. So after I got the fit a little more dialed, Otis, the owner of Dirty River, did some lever adjustments and a couple other little things. Everyone took turns taking the bike for a spin, the mechanics and my friends and stuff like that. Everyone definitely agrees aesthetically they really like it. Andy said the paint job was an experiment, but I think it came out pretty cool. Obviously, ordering a bike from STS Bikes, you could get it painted whatever color scheme you want. And that's the other cool thing, you know, however you want the bike to be is how they would build it. If you want routing for cable actuated shifting or none of that because you want electronic shifting, they do it. More mounting points, less mounting points. It's, you know, the world is your oyster. He said they try and anticipate what you're going to want for the future and really tune the bike to you. With their drop bar gravel bike, they've built some Brando style, some lightweight gravel racing ones, and then a YouTube channel a lot of you probably know, Ride Along Adventures. He got a Crusader and he had his build up more tuned for touring and carrying a load because that's what he does on his bike. So Otis gave some advice on the geometry of the bike. I was maybe more of just a spiritual influences. All the little numbers and stuff like that aren't my cup of tea. But I do have to say, after we were out riding for a while, Brad looked over and he was like, for being a bike you've never ridden before, you seem pretty comfortable on that. And it did. The bike kind of disappeared underneath me after a while, which is what you want. I think that's a high compliment for a bike. I don't want to be thinking about my bike when I'm riding my bike. I want to be having fun on a bike ride, hanging out with my friends. Anyways, I will link the company below if you want to check them out, STS Bikes. Let's just go ride and rip around and talk a little bit more about this in the future.